All right. So, with the Nintendo Switch launching in just a couple days, the big question is, should I buy one at launch? Should I buy this brand new system that is, even with, review units out there, still pretty much untested? There are a lot of unknowns when it comes to the Switch. The Virtual Console is not yet available. We don't know a lot about the online service, which is now a paid subscription service, which purportedly uses phone for chat. We don't know what the eShop will be like. We don't know how networking between Switch consoles will work exactly or how well it will work. There's a lot of unknowns. There are also certain things about the Switch that are strange sins of omission. For instance, no Bluetooth headsets will work. And the audio jack is only on the tablet itself, which is fine for portable mode, but a little awkward when you're docked on a TV. You have to run like an extension cord from the system to your couch. There's also some issues with the charging USB port being on the bottom of the system, which is fine when it's docked or handheld, but in tabletop mode, a little less convenient. Fortunately, there's a 5-hour battery life. 5 hours should be pretty sufficient for most people, especially in tabletop mode. And when you're handheld, of course, it's easier to just plug it into a wall and charge it. So there are some problems and concerns with the Switch. From my perspective, however, I think it's just a really incredible system. I've enjoyed the hell out of it for the last week. I've enjoyed The Legend of Zelda enormously, and I've really had a lot of fun with 1-2 Switch and Just Dance as well, although mostly with my kids playing those games, because those games are really geared towards younger people. Zelda, on the other hand, is just it's pretty groundbreaking, and I think gamers of all ages will have a lot of fun with it. But we'll save that for my actual Zelda review. So the Switch itself is just a little tablet. See? That's the Switch. And it goes in a little dock like this. And you just pop it out, pop it back in. It comes with the Joy-Con controllers, these guys, and these can pop out and pop in of this grip, or you can take them out pretty easily. Some reviewers say that it's a pain to do that, but I think it's really pretty easy. Just pop them back in. Now, when the system is turned on and you put a controller in, it makes that snap sound, which just embellishes the natural snapping sound of the controller going in. But it's snap, really nice. There's also this little button here. Sorry, right here is the screenshot button, and in a game, it'll makes a nice little click. But it's really easy to view screenshots. You can go to the home button. Press that 3 times. Okay, so here's the Zelda save screen. What if you can take a capture there? You can go home with the home button, and you can see the UI here. Go to some different games, and you can close the software. And you can look at your Nintendo account and some other things. Anyways, it's all very easy to navigate. There's not a lot going on here yet. That's another kind of big thing about the Switch. There's no Netflix. There's not even any word if really like Netflix or those apps will be even available. Down at the bottom here, and you can go to your screenshot gallery. You can see I have a lot of screenshots of Zelda. I'm not gonna show you any more, that would be spoilers. But anyways, that's what you've got there. And back home. And then, if I had this hooked up, if I had the dock hooked up right now, you could just pop it back in and play on your TV. You'll also see there's a little kickstand here at the back. This allows you to set it down in tabletop mode, and you can play games like 1-2 Switch, where you take off the controllers and you have sword fights and duels and things like that. So that's all really easy, and with the click of the power button, you put it back to sleep. The whole thing with the controller, you know, and the power cable, if I'm carrying the dock, I mean, that's it. I can hold it all in my hand really easily. If you don't bring the dock with you, you know, it's this. That's all you have to bring. So it really makes console gaming a viable on-the-go option, and that is pretty cool. You know, honestly, it would be cool if Sony made a PlayStation 4 Switch. That probably won't ever happen, as they are going to keep beating the PS Vita horse to death. So yeah, so that's the Switch, and I really like it. I do have one sort of horror story to tell. A couple days ago, when I went to play some Zelda in docked mode, I went and I pressed the power button, and the system did not turn on. And I thought, well, maybe it had died. And so I took it out of the dock. I took the power cable out. I plugged it directly into the wall. First, I made sure that the cable and the outlet were working with my phone, which uses USB-C as well. And then still didn't get anything, so I contacted Nintendo, and they gave me a solution to try, which was to hold down the power button for 15 seconds, let go, and then press power again. I did that and it didn't work, but I did it again just to make sure, and the second time it did work, and the system fired back up. So this was kind of worrisome, and I think it still is a little worrisome, just because, like, you know, after a few days of use, why is my system not turning on at all? Fortunately, it works fine now. I haven't had that problem again. But, you know, this is something to think about when you're thinking of buying a Switch, along with all the other big questions we don't know. How reliable is it? And this is a question with all new hardware. I mean, certainly, you know, Galaxy Note 7 buyers had no clue that they would catch fire randomly. And yeah, I'm not suggesting that this will catch fire, but there could be other issues like the one I experienced, or it could be a totally isolated incident, and I just don't know. The fact is, 2 days before launch, I don't know a lot of things. We don't know. Nobody knows so many things about the Switch that anybody who wants to wait and not purchase one on day one would be more than justified. I am going to buy one at launch if I can get my hands on one, because, I mean, for one thing, because of Zelda. That is probably the most impressive launch title I've ever seen with a console. I mean, there's some other good ones, but by and large, launch titles are not usually that great, and you have to wait a while for the really good games to come out. Well, that is not the case with the Switch. Though you could still play it on the Wii U, I think that I would rather have it on the Switch, because just that ability to just, you know, take it with you, take it on the bus, take it on the train, take it out, you know, take it between your office and your home. I mean, it's really pretty phenomenal. It's just as a portable video game console, the Switch is just amazing. I mean, it's got this big screen. It's very crisp. It looks great. So, you know, I can't wait to have more than one, actually. Or have friends that have one, maybe. You know, just to get together and play games, almost like a LAN party, but with little handhelds, and to play games like Mario Kart. You know, hopefully a new Metroid at some point. Maybe some sort of co-op. You know, co-op games like Borderlands would be really cool on this. So there's just a lot of potential with the Switch, and I find it to be just an incredibly impressive, sleek system. It feels good to hold. It looks good. The last sort of caveat there is that in TV mode, especially, not so much in handheld mode, but in TV mode, there are points in Zelda where the frame rate really dips, when there's a lot of grass waving in the wind and maybe rain coming down or other effects going on. You can see a noticeable drop below 30 frames per second, and I think it's a little less noticeable in handheld mode. What that means for future games, I don't know. That Zelda is an awfully ambitious game for this hardware, especially I think. And honestly, it's just a little distracting at times. It's not a big deal, at least not to me. For some people, this will be a big deal, but really, overall, just a very impressive system at a good price. The accessories will set you back a lot more, so just be ready to be paying for, expanded memory. There's only 32 gigabytes of storage on here. So if you want to do digital downloads, you're going to need expanded memory. The cartridges don't install onto the system, so you don't have to worry about having to install Zelda or any of these other games. They just come on the cartridge. They boot up right away. It's really pretty great having cartridge-based media here. But yeah, you will need more storage if you want to do that. You're going to need a carrying case if you want to take it anywhere and not damage it. You're going to probably want to get a Pro Controller at some point if you play it on your TV a lot, which, will save you the time of taking out those Joy-Cons and will provide you with a slightly more comfortable couch console experience. And just, there's no games bundled with it. So the whole thing is going to cost you more than $300 if you really want to get down and dirty with it. But really, in the end, I think, it can easily replace your portable and home console systems. I mean, I don't know how, I mean, to me, it's way more convenient than a 3DS and a Wii U. And to me, I like that the better visuals on the Switch. The 3DS just looks like a dinosaur in comparison. So I honestly, I do hope that we start to see things like Pokemon move over to the Switch and away from the 3DS. I think 3DS is a great system, but now that I've played with the Switch, I hope that we move away from the 3DS and just that Nintendo streamlines everything onto this portable hybrid. So, I mean, and granted, maybe I'm a little biased here because I did a couple years back write an article saying that this is exactly what Nintendo should do, is make a portable home console hybrid, and lo and behold, that's what they did. I'm not getting a royalty check or anything from them, but it was a pretty good idea. I did get this unit as a review unit and Zelda and the other games as review copies. The unit goes back to Nintendo, and I'll be getting my own, maybe a couple, but it's yeah, that's my full disclosure. Anyways, that's my video review of the Switch. Obviously, there's a lot more to talk about once we know more. Feel free to ask me some questions in the comments if you have any, and I will have at least part one of my Zelda review up tomorrow. It's a huge game, and I've said this before, but I'm not into rushing through games that I enjoy. I'm not into rushing through any games because that's not how normal people play them, and I don't think reviewers should either. So I will have at least my part one up for my Zelda review tomorrow, and we'll just go from there. Anyways, thanks for watching. Peace.